I find that when kids cook, they eat what they make. So if a kid makes, spinach and broccoli and, all the things that kids don't like, if they make it themselves, they're going to want to eat it.
We've got so many to choose from. The spiral fusilli, the stringy spaghetti.
Duff's Happy Fun Bake Time on Discovery Plus. Tell me what it is all about.
It takes place in like a magical fantasy bakery. Every episode we're looking at like a specific ingredient, right? So we're looking like pasta or chocolate. When you can kind of explain to kids what is in things and how things work, they tend to be really curious about it, which is great because curiosity is the best thing that we can give kids. But also they'll eat more. Right? They'll be like, oh, okay, well, that's how broccoli works. Maybe I'll eat more broccoli,
My name is Duff, and I'm a chef. For years, I've been teaching people how to make cakes and all kinds of amazing food.
Let's get cooking.
What was the influence or sort of the catalyst that made you want to pursue this?
I was in my kitchen, and I was making a chocolate babka. And I was watching Sesame Street because I watch a lot of kids' TV. And I was like, the way that Sesame Street articulates ideas, I think is beautiful, right? I love the way that Sesame Street works. So I was thinking about how would Sesame Street explain babka? Sort of fantasized up this whole sort of world. And then I just wrote a whole episode, how eggs work in cake batter and stuff like that. And I brought it to the Jim Henson Company, and they were like, yeah, this looks great. Let's make it. They built all the puppets. They made the set. I mean, it's just been an absolute dream come true. Working with somebody like the Jim Henson Company, there's no idea that's too weird. They will figure it out. I was like, I need a taste bud costume. And they weren't like, oh, what does a taste bud costume look like? They were just like, okay. And they made it.
Growing up for you, someone who's dedicated their life to food, when was the aha moment when you knew that this is something you wanted to pursue?
It was in high school. I actually remember the moment. I was working at a restaurant, a pizza place. My brother came into the restaurant. He was about to take me. Him and I were going to drive from Massachusetts down to Baltimore so I could go to college. And so he was in the restaurant and he wanted a steak and cheese sandwich. And I was talking to him as I was chopping up this meat on this big griddle, this big flat top. And I realized that my hands were completely doing this thing without, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was having a whole nother conversation. And I was like, wow, I'm really good at cooking. This is kind of the thing that, I'm good at this stuff. Maybe I should be a chef. And that's where I really started thinking about, pursuing, getting a job in a nice restaurant and going to culinary school and, stuff like that.
How did they pick the right sauce for each noodle?
Well, the Italians didn't invent pasta noodles. They just kicked them up a notch.
Oh.
Maybe we need to learn a little more before we decide. Let's go see where the first noodle came from.
I think it's so powerful because food is such a way to open up doors to other cultures and learn about other experiences. Do you think that's one of the benefits of this show for children?
In the bakery, we have a magic proof box, and the proof box will take us anywhere in the world. In the pasta episode, we go to Italy, we go to China, we go to Germany, and we even go to my mom's house because she's making a noodle kugel. I'm Jewish, and so, kind of that's sort of our one of our foods. Most Jewish holidays really revolve around the food. It's very symbolic, but also very traditional. It's one of the things that can sort of inspire you or get you there. It's also, everybody has to eat. So when you go somewhere, you have to eat something. Food is the best way to go learn about a culture. I went to Hong Kong by myself, went and I walked around, and literally Hong Kong's amazing because wherever you go, within 10 feet of you, somebody's cooking something delicious.
This is Spätzle.
Oh, Gesundheit.
Dankeschön. Spätzle's made with fresh eggs, and it's popular in Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and Hungary.
I think the smell of that Spätzle's making me hungry.
Do you have any advice after working on this project and considering all of your experience in the culinary industry about how to get kids involved with the cooking process?
The biggest thing is let them cook. let them do it. Show them how that, like, when you're using a knife, you want to keep your fingers curled so that when you're chopping, you're not going to cut anything. Make sure that they understand that this is a tool and it's not a toy. Show them how things work, but show them how to do it safely. Make sure that they're not going to do it without you. But I find that when kids cook, they eat what they make. So if a kid makes, spinach and broccoli and, all the things that kids don't like, if they make it themselves, they're going to want to eat it.
How has Duff's Happy Fun Bake Time challenged your creativity as a creator and also as a chef?
I wanted all the cooking and all the science to be very real. All these recipes, the recipes that I use, like we make a cookie on that recipe, that's a recipe either from my book or something that's from my own recipe folder. I really wanted everything to be legit, but I had to make it accessible, right? Accessible for kids and for adults. And that's the thing that I love about Happy Fun Bake Time is that it's definitely for adults too. And there's a lot of times that like the kids will laugh, the adults might chuckle, but there's also times when the adults will laugh and the kids will be like, what are you laughing at? And the adults will be like, nothing.
Just like that. And then I take the yolk and I pass it back and forth until all the egg white comes out.
You didn't break the yolk.
Not a yolk there, huh?
I'll leave the yolks to you.
Ayo.
Oh, I see what you did there.
What has been the most rewarding part of this process for you?
The most amazing thing for me is getting a front row seat to the backstage show of the best puppeteers in the world doing what they do. So when you see me and I'm standing there and we're cooking and there's like 5 or 6 people laying on the floor all around me and everybody's operating these puppets, the way that they can create that emotion, like, just with like little things that they do with their wrists or with the eyes or the way that they make the puppets move, it's just incredible. Like they can do all these things while being insanely uncomfortable at the same time. And watching this whole dance between the puppeteers, the puppet wranglers, the camera guys, the sound guys, the art department, everybody doing their thing, it's so incredible and so much more involved than you think. I wish we could have a camera that was behind us just so people could see what's happening underneath, because it is crazy.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this episode of I Have a Question. Talking to people is like literally one of the best parts of my job, and I'm so glad I get to share it with you. And also thanks for sticking around to hear me babble at the end of every video. If you want to see more, be sure to click over here and also like and subscribe down below. Do it.